Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Maulana Qamruzzama Sahab Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Sunday at about plus minus 11:30 a.m. Sunday 22nd of Jumadul Akhirah 1444, corresponding with the English date 15th of January 2023. This Majlis took place at Masjid Naumani, Madrasa Maddahe Millat, Maligaon, Maharashtra, India. Hazrat Wala starts off this Majlis by quoting the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Khayrukum man ta'allama al-Qur'ana wa 'allama." Thereafter, Hazrat Wala goes on to say that dosto, buzurgo, azizo, friends, elders, and near and dear ones. What can I say? I am feeling very, very weak. But today I would read from the kitab that I have in front of me. It is a kitab of a very great Buzruk, Sheikh Ibn Ataullah Iskandari Rahimahullah. Hazrat Shaikhul Hadith used to read from his Risala and his kitabs in his Majlis. Hazrat Haji Imdadullah got this particular kitab translated by Hazrat Tanvi, and there are many valuable pearls in this particular kitab. Hazrat Haji Sahab liked this kitab, and he went on to say, "Ashraf Ali, translate this kitab." Some Buzruks have even went on to say that nobody could have made a translation of this caliber, this level, as Hazrat Tanvi did. So Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, he was a da'i himself, and he wanted his people to be like that. He would also go on to say, what's so difficult about this, about waz? Koi mushkil nahi. Take your topic and your article, even though it may be in a kitab, sit down and read it out to the attendees of that particular assembly and that majlis. Normally, I give my waz and my majlis without that of a kitab. But today I am reading from a kitab. Allah Ta'ala give me also the tawfiq and the hidayat that I come completely on this path of our buzurgs. And give me also the tawfiq and the hidayat, the salahiyat, the capability of also treading this path. Rather, to bring this talimat into my heart and into my life completely, so that others can also then be affected by what I am then going to say. So here, Hazrat Tanvi is writing, and he says that one day Hazrat Haji Imdadullah Rahimahullah, in his majlis, which was such a wonderful majlis, I'm just summarizing it here, it's said in many, many words and very eloquent words. In that majlis, Hazrat Haji Imdadullah, with that pain in his heart, spoke about ghariqan-e bahre ghaflat, those that were drowning in the ocean of negligence. And what was his cry and his pain all about? So that they could sahil-e hidayat par lane ki koi surat nikali jawe, that how do we bring them to the shores of hidayat, that they can be saved from drowning in this life of negligence. What can we adopt? What plan can we think about? What can we do? In all of that, he says, this kitab that I have in front of me, At-Tanweer fi Isqat al-Tadbir, which is the tasnif of Hujjatul Awliya Ibn Ataullah Iskandari Quddisa Sirruhu. So in this particular kitab, Hazrat Haji Imdadullah then says that there are many topics, many articles, and they are topics of aqliya, logical topics, as well as Quran and Hadith. And if we can take this here and bring it into the Urdu language, then the benefits of it will be very far reaching, because the people here understand that of Urdu. And it wouldn't be actually astonishing, but it wouldn't be as astonishing, because this kitab is of such a nature that if a person sincerely listens to it, then he can come onto this path. Thereafter, he speaks about the kitab in these high words, that this is such a kitab that talaba ko ilm, it will give knowledge to the students, ulama ko amal, it will give amal to the ulama, abido ko ma'rifat, it will bring recognition to the worshippers, or arifo ko hal, and it will bring a spiritual state in the arifin and those who have the recognition of Allah, or ahle hal ko maqam, and the people who have already and are enjoying this spiritual state, it will give them great high stations in this path of suluk and tasawwuf. And ahle maqam ko kamal, and those who have already achieved these high stations, it will give them perfection. Or ahle kamal ko daulat be zawal nasib hogi, and the people of these high stations will be blessed with a perfection, and those of perfection would then be blessed with the barakat of this kitab, with such a treasure which is an everlasting treasure, meaning such type of nur and barakat. Just ponder on the words. It will able to tell you about the oratory skills and the language skills that was possessed by these great giants. The talaba ko ilm, ulama ko amal, abido ko ma'rifat, arifo ko hal, or ahle hal ko maqam, or ahle maqam ko kamal, or ahle kamal ko daulat bair zawal nasib hogi. Allahu Akbar. Thereafter, he also goes on to say, and Hazrat Wala says that I like these words so much. He says, Ba'de hamde salat. Now the author Ibn Ataullah Iskandari is writing the translation of, I'm quoting here, after praising Allah and sending salutations upon Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, O brother, understand this well, that Allah Ta'ala make you from amongst His lovers. Allah Ta'ala tujhe apne aashiqon mein kar de. He makes you from His lovers. Or tujhe apne qurb naseeb kar de. He bless you with His proximity. Or apne masto ki mohabbat ki chashni tujhe chaka de. And Allah Ta'ala make you taste. May Allah Ta'ala make you taste from the love of those who have become intoxicated with the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just what wonderful words. He's starting off his kitab in this manner. So here, who was Hazrat Haji Imdadullah rahimahullah? If we can just understand, he was not even an alim in the sense of the terminology. Darul Uloom Deoband was not even there. Rather, with his dua, Darul Uloom Deoband came about. But Hazrat Wala then quotes those couplets, that a person who has his earthen pot, his matli, connected to the ocean, then will that person ever run short? And that was the example of the hearts of these great saintly people. It was connected to the ocean of the recognition of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that whoever then came to drink from that small earthen pot of theirs, their heart, that fountain of theirs, was then most definitely satisfied and quenched. Hazrat Maulana Qasim Sahib used to say that I went to Hazrat Haji Imdadullah because of his ilm. Many others went because of his amal. And we know the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whoever practices upon the knowledge that he knows, Allah Ta'ala then blesses him with such type of knowledge of meaning which he knew not before. Hazrat Haji Sahib, on the occasion when Hazrat Maulana Rashid Ahmad took bayat to him, he said, Rashid Ahmad, up till now, I was asking my masalas from Maulana Sher Muhammad, who was a muhaddith, and that was the peer by of Hazrat Haji Imdadullah. And he says, but now you have become my murid, you are here, I will ask my masalas from you. Now these were our akabirin, and this is how they had annihilated themselves, totally complete self-effacement, complete and total humility. They humbled themselves completely, and that's how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then blessed them. Hazrat Sayyid Sulaiman Nadwi now comes to Hazrat Tanvi drank from that fountain of Hazrat Haji Sahib, and then Sayyid Sulaiman Nadwi then drinks now and comes to Hazrat Tanvi and learns from him. And then people even said to him that you are so capable, you are an allama. They said to Hazrat Sayyid Sulaiman Nadwi, how is it then that you went to Hazrat Tanvi? And then he goes on and they asked him that what did you actually achieve? He says that, well, what did you actually achieve? And he goes on to say, apne jahl ka ilm ho gaya. I came actually to know how ignorant I was when I went to Hazrat Tanvi. Nevertheless, he spends time there and then he's now leaving. When he's leaving, he says that Hazrat, kuch nasihat farma dijiye. That Hazrat, give me some nasihat. Now look at this. Hazrat Tanvi calculated that. He understood the stature, the status, the knowledge of this person. He took all that into consideration. And what did he say? He said to him, Aap to khud alim fazil hai. You are an alim, you know so much, but listen, you asked me, so I'll tell you what I learned from my mashayikh. Jo apne mashayikh se suna, I will present that to you. Jahan tak ho sake, apne ko jhukaiye. As far and as much as you can, humble yourself, lower yourself. Those words just had to fall in his ears, settle into his heart, that it reduced him to tears. Rather, he started weeping bitterly, and this is how he left, and he returned all the way to Lucknow in this particular halat. Now, Hazrat Haji Imdadullah rahimahullah ta'ala also understood. He understood well that Hazrat Tanvi had that capacity that he could translate this kitab. Therefore, he even said it to him. He did not say it just to any other person. And then Hazrat Haji Imdadullah then translates this kitab. Hazrat Wala goes on to say, Sir aliman, aw muta'alliman, aw mustami'an, aw muhibban. That become an alim. If not, then a student. And if not, at least listen to their talks. If not, if you cannot even do that, at least have love in your heart for them. Allah Ta'ala keep us in the zumrah and in the circle and in this group. So this is no small thing. This is something very, very great that Hujjatul Islam, Hazrat Maulana Qasim Sahib, he had so much of knowledge himself. He was an ocean of knowledge himself. But he's saying that I got my knowledge from Hazrat Haji Imdadullah. Allah Ta'ala protect us from every type of mischief and every calamity, trial and tribulation. Now the hadith that I quoted to you, خَيْرُكُمْ مَنْ تَعَلَّمَ الْقُرْآنَ وَعَلَّمَ. We heard this hadith over and over again. But what is our aqidah regarding this? That who is saying this? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying this. He's making a statement and he's telling the Muslim society and community that who's the best of all? Those who learn the Quran and those who teach the Quran. Now what is our aqidah and our belief? This is my point that I'm saying. You heard it over and over again. How much is your belief in this? How much do you understand what Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying? Thereafter, Hazrat Wala then starts quoting from this kitab which he just introduced us to. And then he goes on to speak about the etiquettes of a person who's going to leave his home and go into the marketplace. Now, so many hundreds of people have gathered here. And I'm saying this is no ordinary simple thing, it's something very, very great. My son, Maulana Saeed Ahmad Nadwi, he is staying in the Arab, and he says that this type of setup is not there, due to which people don't even know the basics. However, here in the Indo-Pak, we find these type of jalsas, these types of gatherings, due to which the common masses can meet with the ulama. They listen to their talks, they sit in their jalsas, and they learn from them. They learn from the ulama. So here, Sheikh Ibn Ataullah Iskandari is speaking about the etiquettes of a person that leaves home. What should he do? The first thing when he leaves home, he should make this firm intention that if any type of taklif that comes to him when he leaves his house, he will make that person maaf. Rather, he makes such an intention when he is leaving home that if anybody, a Muslim, takes my honor, even that is completely and totally maaf. Meaning you don't wish for that. But when you go out into the open, if anybody swears at me, insults me, humiliates me, I will not answer in any way. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to the Sahaba, what's stopping you? Can't you be like Abu Damdam? When he used to leave his house, he would say that I am giving sadaqah of my honor to the Muslimin. Meaning I don't wish that, but if that type of taklif comes from any Muslim against me, it's most definitely maaf. He then goes on to say, it is suitable for a person to make wudu and perform salat before he leaves home, and then he should ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for peace in this coming out. Because he knows not what would actually happen to him. A person who leaves his home and goes into the marketplace is like one who is walking into the battlefield. Therefore, it is suitable for a person to wear the armor, like how a soldier wears his armor. What type of armor? The armor, meaning i'tisam, he should put his full trust and tawakkul, trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That would be his armor, and it would save him from the arrows of the enemies. Also, when a person leaves his house, he should then hand over to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala his family, his house, and whatever it contains, because this year is the best that he can do, so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it is most suitable that he does this, so that Allah ta'ala will protect all of that. And he should remember that فَاللَّهُ خَيْرٌ حَافِظًا وَهُوَ أَرْحَمُ الرَّاحِمِينَ, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best of protectors, and he is the most merciful of all those who show mercy. Now Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam also taught us to read a dua, Allahumma anta sahibu fi safar wal khalifatu fil ahl. Now when he does that, then he hands all of that over to Allah. Then most definitely he will return in such a way that he would find it as how he would love, and those who he'd left at home, they would love. Some of the pious people in the past undertook a journey, and this person, when he went out, his wife was pregnant, and while he was at journey, or while he was leaving, he says, "Oh Allah, I'm handing over my wife, I'm handing over what is in my wife's womb, I'm handing that over to you." And that's how he left. Nevertheless, in his absence, his wife passes away. When he returns from the safar, he asks about her, and he's told that, listen, she passed away in her pregnancy. Nevertheless, that night he sees a nur, and then he starts following that, and he finds himself at the Qabristan, where he finds the child drinking from his wife that had passed away. At that time, what does he hear? He hears a caller from the unseen saying, that, oh certain person, you had handed over the child to Allah, so therefore you have found this child. If you have handed over the mother of that child, you would have found the both of them. Also, when a person leaves, he should recite this dua, Bismillah tawakkaltu ala Allah wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, because this makes shaitan despondent. Another of the great etiquettes when a person leaves home is that he should carry out commanding that which is good and prohibiting that which is prohibited, incorrect, evil. Why? Because he would make this year as a form of gratitude for the ni'mat of strength and taqwa which Allah Ta'ala had given to him. And he should think about this ayat of the Quran Majid, alladhina immakkannahum, those whom we have granted authority in the land, fil ard. أقاموا الصلاة وآتوا الزكاة, they establish salah and they discharge zakah. وأمروا بالمعروف ونهوا عن المنكر ولله عاقبة الأمور, they command that which is good and they prohibit that which is evil. Now, the person whom Allah Ta'ala has established and He has given him that strength to carry out Amar bil Ma'ruf, commanding that which is good and prohibiting that from that which is evil, in such a way that he is not going to get any harm to his body or his honor or his wealth, then he will be considered from amongst those who have been granted authority on earth, and it will be necessary for him to carry out this amal. However, if any person fears that he would be harmed, his body or his honor or his wealth, then from such a person that the wajib nature of Amr bil Ma'ruf wa Nahi anil Munkar will then fall away. Another point also is that of looking after the gaze, and he should remember what Allah Ta'ala says regarding that. Say to the believing people that they lower their gazes and they protect their private parts. ذَلِكَ أَزْكَى لَهُمْ, because this is most pure for them. And he should understand well that the eyesight is a ni'mat from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and he should not be ungrateful to this ni'mat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and this amanat which comes from Allah. He should not be deceptive, make khiyanat in this amanat that Allah Ta'ala has given him. For Allah Ta'ala, he should think about this ayat of the Quran Majid and remember it. It will help him. Ya'lamu, Allah Ta'ala knows well the deception of the eyes and what the hearts hide. Alam ya'lam bi anna Allah yara, does he not know that Allah Ta'ala is watching? فَإِذَا أَرَدْتَ, so when you intend that you want to see and you want to look, then know well, فَأْلَمْ بِأَنَّهُ يَرَى, that Allah is also looking. Also when he goes, he should walk with sakina. This is also one of the adab when leaving home, with waqar and sakina. And also he should remember while he's in the bazaar that he should remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For one who remembers Allah amongst the negligent is like the one who is fighting in the battlefield amongst those who are running away. And the one who remembers Allah in the marketplace is like a living person amongst the dead. Some of the Salaf would go on mounting their conveyance, and they would go into the bazaar. They would remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then they would come out. Also, while they're in the marketplace, it should not be such that their trade and commerce makes them so negligent that they miss their salat wa jama'ah. Because if this happens, then it will bring the displeasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and barakat will be snatched away. Therefore, a person should be ashamed and he should understand that Allah ta'ala is watching him, and he should be concerned of fulfilling the right of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some of our Salaf were such that they were working in their workshops and they would lift up the hammer, throw it behind their shoulder, and they're about to bring it back now front and strike. And at that time they hear the adhan, the muazzin calling out the adhan. They don't even follow through because they understand this year to be against, that they are being called to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and at that time they are not answering the call of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You should remember the ayat of the Quran Majid, Ya qawmana, O our people, O people, ajibu da'i Allah, answer the caller of Allah. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu istajibu lillahi walil rasool idha da'akum lima yuhyikum. And also remember this ayat, istajibu li rabbikum. Hazrat Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha would say that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam would even mend and fix up his shoes. He would assist the khadim and he would be at home doing all these chores. However, فَإِذَا نُودِيَ لِلصَّلَاةِ, when the salat or the azan would go on, at that time he would stand in such a manner, قَامَ كَأَنَّهُ لَمْ يَعْرِفْنَا, in such a manner that he doesn't even know who we are. Also, a person should abandon taking promises in the name of selling his goods. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has mentioned that at-tujjar, that normally by and large these traders are those who are flagrant sinners, humul fujjar. But there is some exception, illa man barra, except those who are obedient, they are good, they speak the truth, وَصَدَقَ, they never ever lie, they speak the truth. Also, he should make sure that he does not make ghibat. So these are some of the etiquettes when a person leaves home. Then bringing this majlis to an end, Hazrat Wala says that, we're speaking about these jalsas and that. Back in ilahAabadi, there is this jalsa which used to go on for years and years, Islahul Muslimin, due to which great change came about in the people. Now Allah Ta'ala says in the Quran Majid, make dua to me and I would answer your dua. Keeping that in mind, we are making dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But remember, we have to fulfill the conditions and prerequisites of dua as well. Now let us make dua. رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ رَبَّنَا لَا تُزِغْ قُلُوبَنَا بَعْدَ إِذْ هَدَيْتَنَا وَهَبْ لَنَا مِن لَّدُنكَ رَحْمَةً إِنَّكَ أَنتَ الْوَهَّابُ اللهم ألف بين قلوبنا وأصلح ذات بيننا واهدنا سبل السلام ونجنا من الظلمات إلى النور وجنبنا الفواحش ما ظهر منها وما بطن وبارك لنا في أسماعنا وأبصارنا وقلوبنا وأزواجنا وذرياتنا وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. Allah Ta'ala accept our du'as. Now what to do? Allah have mercy on me also in this age also, weakness, etc. And Allah Ta'ala accept this and give me the tawfiq and the hidayat of saying such talks which would be beneficial and would be pleasing to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. You people called me and you are showing so much of honor and respect to me. Coincidentally, I see now that my sons have also arrived and I have grandsons here also. Khair, whoever came have come now. And this path, suluk and tasleek, walking this path to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah ta'ala make that easy for us. رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ السَّمِيعُ الْعَلِيمُ وَتُبْ عَلَيْنَا إِنَّكَ أَنْتَ التَّوَّابُ الرَّحِيمُ بِحُرْمَةِ سَيِّدِ النَّبِيِّ الْكَرِيمِ صلى الله عليه وسلم.